I made a French cleat, vice grip, and large plier holder that cost me almost nothing. Don't get excited, this is just a vice grip and plier holder, a lot like its smaller plier holder I built before. It's not going to change your life, but it will hold your big pliers. My big wrenches are too big to fit in my regular plier holder. See? The vice grips and large wrenches that I have are significantly larger than the smaller wrenches that I built the other wrench holder for, so I need a different structure to hold these bigger tools. This one holds them just fine.
The first step is to cut a backer board. My backer board is a certain size to cover my 9 wrenches, but yours may be a different size, so dimensions here don't really matter. Cut what you need to fit your wrenches.
I'm going to use 1-inch PVC pipe. Plumbing measurements are different than lumber measurements, and when we talk about 1 inch, we're not talking about the inch of the diameter of the pipe, we're talking about of the throat of the opening. So this is a 1-inch opening, so it's slightly larger on the outside. And I'm going to cut several lengths of this to give us sleeves to put our wrenches in.
And then the PVC is sanded to take off its razor sharp edges. This mount is going to have 2 different levels, so I lay out the first level with a 1/2 inch square strip in between each one of the PVC pipes. Then it's time to drill the holes that the screwdriver will use to, uh-oh.
I saw that going differently in my mind.
Let's try that again, this time holding the PVC tight using the wooden blocks as a support. These are the holes that the screwdriver is going to use to drive screws through into these blocks later on when we mount it.
I will now glue the PVC together with this wonderful and highly aromatic PVC cement.
The PVC cement is purple colored, so I'm putting down some saran wrap here to cover up the wood because we don't want purple wood. As you can see, the bottom 5 PVC tubes are held on by the 4 shorter ones that we're gluing onto the front. Those 4 shorter tubes have the holes in them for the screws, and that's what's going to hold this whole thing to the backer board.
And then I took them all apart and I put them back on the right way with the screws on the top side, not the bottom side, because I wasn't paying attention. But there, it's fixed.
Once everything is dry, it's time to paint, and I grabbed some paint off the paint rack and got some great gray here that we used on another project. Our colors in the shop are orange, gray, and a little bit of black, so this matches other things we've done.
So the tubes are all glued together, they're painted to cover the purple stuff, and the mounting holes are drilled. So we're going to try just to do it with these 4 mounting holes and trust the glue to hold the ends on. I think that'll be enough, but we're going to go ahead and mount them now.
Our unstained backer board is laid down, and the 9 PVC tubes now snap right onto the wooden rails. It's almost like they were built to go there. Look how well they fit. Every now and then, our measurements actually do work. Then I use those holes I drilled earlier to make pilot holes and then sink the screws into the rails. This is what holds everything together. From this angle, you can clearly see the structure of the 9 tubes and how the wrenches are going to be offset from each other. Note that the one on the far left is larger because the vice grips have a larger handle than the other wrenches. The last step is to cut the French cleat that will interface with the French cleat on the wall, and then staple it into position on the backer board, and now we've got a vice grip holder. I could have used the nail gun or I could have glued this. Either one would have worked equally. Whichever one works for you is fine.
So that's it. I can hold my vice grips and larger pliers in this larger holder that are too big to fit in this smaller plier holder, but they'll still be right next door so I can get to them easily. Let's load it up. Done. Plier holder, big plier holder. All easily accessible right here over the workbench, takes up a tiny amount of space on the French cleat wall, and I can move it whenever I want to. The cleatification continues. We're going to keep building stuff out until this wall is full of all my tools that I need here. I'm loving this stuff. But this is easy to make, cheap. You can do the same thing. You can either do the simple one here, which is another video, or you can do this one. Either one works, whatever works for you. Little pliers, big pliers. All working together, all a happy family. You like this sort of thing? Go check out the playlist on the French cleat wall because I'm building more as I go, as I build out the shop once a month. And if you like what you see on this channel, because we use these tools to build other things, subscribe, like it, ring that bell so that you'll get updates when they come out. And I'll see you next time I build one of these or something else. See you next time.